Hey guys, and hey to Brett, aka PWitness. This is another video response, and I'm quite happy to make it because Brett is one of the few intelligent but also non-arrogant Christians here on YouTube. So yeah, and he's strangely undersubscribed, so go check his videos out. Okay, so why the hood? Couldn't find a hat. This is the best I could do other than putting like a paper bag over my head or something, which probably would have been better, but anyway, let's not go there. Okay, so have I studied Christian theology before? No. Yeah, you have me one up on that. It's just an interest to me, really. It's nothing that I take seriously. So yeah. So your next point was that you claim that God has had to simplify and anthropomorphize certain things within the Bible so that we'd be able to understand it. Because the universe and the contents of the Bible are very complicated. Like, how would you ever explain an atom, as you were using, to someone who lived 2,000 years ago? And I don't argue with this point, but what I do say is, why did God have to simplify things? Why not, if He's all-powerful, do one of two things? First, He could have just simply given us the capacity to understand. Obviously not give us infinite knowledge, but give us the capacity to understand these things. Or He could have explained it in such a way that we would be able to understand it without having to lie to us. Oh yeah, I created the earth in 6 days. Well, not really. See, what actually happened was, yeah, the earth's like 6,000 years old. Not really. Oh yeah, I created man from dirt and created woman from a rib. But yeah, not really. There are ways of explaining things in very simple terms that we'd be able to understand, but he just decided not to. Okay, so yes, you then say that I don't seem to have given any rebuttal to what you suggested in the context of the original question. And this is true, I hadn't, because it does indeed answer the question. If you remove time and sequence, then yes, of course God can be both omniscient and omnipotent. However, can you remove time and sequence? I argue that you can't. You said that there was no sequence before creation of time, but surely creation is sequence in itself. It is cause and effect. If you create something, that is the first cause which has an effect, and then that carries on and on and on. And you seem to dismiss everything I said by saying anything I said in the last video about sequence, because oh no, that was just a metaphor. Well, not everything in the Bible is a metaphor, and surely whenever He parts the clouds, sends down a dove to His Son and says, "This is my Son," to Jesus Christ, and to the, I think was that whenever He was getting baptized by John the Baptist? I'm not sure, but He does do things with sequence, and there has got to be some sort of truth to creating the universe. There has to be some sort of truth to, I don't know, having massive angelic battles in the sky and then sending the devil down to hell. There's got to be something within that, but all that demands sequence. Whenever we eventually do die and supposedly go up to heaven or hell, well, do we spend eternity or do we just stop existing at that point? Is it eternity or is it no time whatsoever? Do we spend eternity worshipping God? Does Jesus Christ spend eternity at the right hand of God? These are just questions. I'm not criticizing anything you said, but they seem to be major flaws in what you did say. Another thing that I think was just that you tripped up in your words, but you said God is omniscient, therefore He's not stuck in space by any means. And what? Omniscience is just to have all knowledge, to know everything. How does this stop you or prevent you from being stuck in space? I'm not sure, but again, it could have been just that you tripped over words at that point. And yeah, the last bit is just the last few quotes that you give definitely do seem to suggest that highly educated scholars 1,500 years ago were saying things like there is no actual place which is the right hand of God, that he is not somewhere in space or in the sky. However, a layman's way of reading the Bible, interpreting the Bible, does seem to suggest that heaven equals sky. Any painting, any sort of mural you will ever see will depict the parting of clouds, a sparkling kingdom behind this sort of massive bearded figure of God coming down to man. And not only this, but within the Bible it sort of says that people rising up to heaven, people building ladders up to heaven, the Tower of Babel, the Tree of Nebuchadnezzar, all this sort of stuff, things that stretch up to heaven. Now, how can they do that if there's no actual place which is heaven? But yeah, that's enough said about that one. So, looking forward to the video response. Again, quite happy to be making these, and I shall see you guys later. Oh, and don't forget, awesome hats. Many of them. Bye guys.